G'day everyone, Michael here from MMA Fan TV. Today we're going to do a video on an article that I've read on bloodyelbow.com, as well as following up from a video that Chael Sonnen did on his channel. And basically the article relates to, and Chael Sonnen's video relates to, Israel Adesanya's coach explaining why they won't give Whittaker a title shot now, saying that he's at the back of the list. Now, as an Australian, Bobby Knuckles is probably my favourite fighter, so this has probably triggered me a little bit, and I want to see why they're saying that. Whether or not it's a ploy or a strategy to get Whittaker offside, or they're genuine, hard to say, but we'll go through the article and find out. So back of the list, Adesanya's camp explains why they won't give Whittaker a title shot now. Israel Adesanya's team are confused by Whittaker's decision to heal up instead of taking a short notice fight. Well, I think it makes a bit of sense. Apparently, Whittaker did an interview with Ariel Helwani, basically saying he busted up his hand ligaments, or the ligaments in his hand. Now, not only that, but you've got to get back into Australia, you have to do 2 weeks of quarantine. So it doesn't leave you much time, but let's see what they say. Israel Adesanya's coach Eugene Behrman recently spoke with the Mac Life about his star pupil and the upcoming middleweight title defense versus Marvin Vettori. In that interview, Behrman expressed his bemusement at the reason why Adesanya is facing Vettori in the main event of UFC 263 and not the man he beat for the title back in 2019, Robert Whittaker. Well, we'll continue reading, but Vettori, I don't mind Vettori fighting now because, like I said, I think Bobby Knuckles probably does need to heal up before he can go in against Adesanya. To be honest, he's kind of cleared out the division. There's no one else for Adesanya to fight other than Whittaker or Vettori. And Vettori is a bit of a reach, but with the timing of the fights, it makes sense why Vettori is fighting Adesanya right now. Whittaker was reportedly offered the chance to face Adesanya for the title next month. However, after beating Calvin Gastelum 3 weeks ago, the Reaper announced that he has to take care of some lingering health issues, including torn ligaments in his hand, which I touched on before. The recovery time and quarantine period Whittaker must observe when landing back home in Australia meant it was unfeasible to take a fight on such short notice. Behrman doesn't buy the explanation and wants to see Whittaker punished for choosing his health over an immediate shot at the title. Now, these guys are from New Zealand, so they should know what it's like quarantining. Australia and New Zealand have been super strict. In fact, New Zealand is probably even stricter than New Zealand when it comes to quarantining, returning from overseas. We've had a whole thing here with quarantine, being in lockdown because of hotel quarantine, COVID escaping from there. So I have a feeling this might be something just to try and rile Bobby Knuckles up. If not, I'm pretty triggered by it, to be honest. Why should someone be punished for not taking a fight on short notice when they've literally just beaten the 3 guys that you all said if they beat Whittaker, they can get a title fight? So, yeah. For me, it's a very strange decision, he said. If you give us the situation or even take the last fight, we were going in with multiple injuries. And that's a fair point, I suppose, because a lot of fighters do, or not many fighters would fight at 100%. But torn ligaments in your hand, he's had a history of having a broken hand in that Yoel Romero fight. So he needs his hand to fight, he needs his hand to punch. I'd say it's one of the more severe injuries when it comes to being a UFC fighter. There's certain things you just don't turn down, don't matter what, don't matter how much family you got waiting for you. Not trying to be insensitive towards his family and all of that, but there's certain things in this sport. You reach a certain pinnacle that you've been reaching and you don't give them away. I don't know, hard to say. Like, family probably comes first in a lot of people. I don't think Izzy has, correct me if I'm wrong, any kids or a wife or a family, like, in terms of, kids and a wife and that sort of thing. Obviously, he's got his parents and whatnot. So he's probably got a little bit more freedom and less responsibility than Whittaker does back at home. I don't know about Behrman. I don't know what his life is like. He's just the coach. But I know he's the coach for Alex Volkanovski. So it's kind of hard because I like the Volk, but I'm not too sure about the things being said by his Campy, I don't know if he would agree. That's why I have a feeling it is just to kind of get Whittaker offside. Behrman added that it was very unexpected to see Whittaker turn down the chance to avenge his UFC TKO loss to the last style bender. I don't think so. If the shoe's on the other foot, we're fighting through. Adesanya's arms falling off. All my guys, their arms falling half off. We're still fighting. When it comes to the title, the decision gets made for you. You make whatever sacrifices are necessary. But Robert, he makes his own decision. He was given the opportunity, and as I understand, by the UFC, and I guess it's gone to Vettori. Well, I'm pretty sure Dana has said that Whittaker's getting the title shot, so I'm not sure how much it's up to the champ. I am kind of getting a little bit tired of the champ saying how much or who's next, because as you can see with the Usman, like Masvidal, yes, Masvidal's a big name, but he's not really a contender, and I guess they're overlooking the next guy as well in Colby Covington. So I think it seems to be a new theme with champions getting to pick their next fight more than it has been in the past. Because of how this all broke down, Behrman believes Whittaker's now at the back of the line when it comes to potential opponents for Adesanya. When you turn down an opportunity like that, we just know when you turn down an opportunity like that, now you have to sit at the back of the list again. Now it goes into the pool again. Don't think so. He's literally cleared out the division for Adesanya. Like, there's no one else for Izzy to fight unless they're literally just going to be throwing in random guys in there, because he literally offered Cannonier, Till, Gastelum he kind of took on. Gastelum was a last-minute fight. It was meant to be Costa, so I just don't really see it. I think Izzy does like to talk a bit of trash. Whittaker's lost to Adesanya. I was there, by the way. Whittaker's lost to Adesanya was the Aussie Kiwi's first defeat since losing to Stephen Thompson as a welterweight at UFC 170 in 2014. Between those losses, Whittaker won 9 contests and earned the UFC middleweight title with a pair of wins over Yoel Romero. Since losing the belt to Adesanya, Whittaker has rebounded with 3 back-to-back wins. In 2020, he beat Till Cannonier on Fight Island. Last month's assured win over Calvin Gastelum earned Whittaker Fight of the Night honours. So, after reading that, I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Now, I'm not going to say Israel Adesanya is scared of Robert Whittaker, because I don't think that's the case. Is he trying to roll Whittaker up, get him offside? Probably. Probably also there is some truth to it. They do think that you should be taking the title fight when it's offered to you, regardless of your injuries and whatnot. But I think with Rob being the previous champion, he's probably not going to be in any rush to get back there, because he's probably confident that with those 3 wins that he's teed up, it is really hard to look past Bobby Knuckles in another fight. And to be honest, I might be calling this a bit early. I've got to wait to see what happens with Vettori Adesanya. I would not be surprised if Bobby Knuckles beats Adesanya, or at least puts up a lot better of a fight than the first time. I was at the fight last time here in Melbourne. I felt like Bobby Knuckles hadn't been active up until that point. He had a lot of health issues. He was burnt out. I feel like he's in a much better place now. Again, Izzy's a great fighter, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like he just hasn't convinced me like Rob has in the past. And some of you might not like me saying that. Maybe it's because I'm an Aussie and I'm biased. Let me know. But I definitely feel like this is a ploy to get Whittaker offside. And maybe there is a little bit of truth to it. Maybe they are ducking him a little bit. Maybe since the loss to Jan Blachowicz, they're thinking Rob is a scarier fight than previously thought, with obviously Jan really exposing Izzy's ground game, and Bobby Knuckles is very strong with that downward pressure on the mat. So it'll be interesting to see. I really want to see this fight. It's probably my most anticipated fight because, again, Bobby Knuckles is my favourite fighter. So leave a comment below, guys. Let me know what you think. Is Izzy ducking? Should Whittaker have taken the fight? Maybe you have that opinion. Maybe they are right. Every fighter is probably fighting hurt. So let me know what you think down below, and be sure to check out our next video on UFC Vegas 26 predictions. I'm 4-0. We'll count 1 as a draw so far, so it might be good to check that out if you're looking at placing a bet on for UFC Vegas 26. That's all for today, guys. Thanks.